Hi, I'm Chip Schwartz. I'm the production plant manager from Marine Depot Maintenance Command. I want to thank Colonel Clemens and the Stratcom staff for giving me and for giving Lt.Col Graham the opportunity to speak to you today and give you an update on where the COVID virus is relative to operations within the plant.
I'm Lt.Col Graham, the commanding officer for Force Storage Battalion. And again, I would like to echo what Chip had said and providing our thanks out to Marine Corps Logistics Base Barstow and their team. Well, the first question we received is 1st FSB still able to perform its mission since being affected by COVID-19? And how about the production plant? My answer is yes. Mission essential operations are still taking place. We're doing everything we can to mitigate and protect the force. We're conducting constant coordination with the Fleet Marine Force, DLA, and our higher headquarters, and ensuring that all critical requirements are being met, and we're ensuring that we're taking care of the Fleet Marine Force and ourselves.
And the answer is also yes for the production plant. Our first priority is force protection. We want to make sure that our workers are safe. We're doing everything we can to keep COVID-19 out of the plant. Second priority is to meet mission and maintain readiness for the ground marine forces. And our third priority is to provide whatever support is needed to the government at large. Albany, Georgia, for example, our sister plant, is 3D printing protective face masks for various FEMA activities.
The next question we have is, what is 1st FSB and the production plant doing to respond to COVID-19? As many of you know, we've put a large amount of people on admin leave. We have a decent amount of our force doing teleworking. We, on average, only have just over 20 people on site here at the battalion. So, and those who are on site, we constantly pursue the social distancing, hygiene, and the cleanliness of our areas.
Production plant has split the workforce into 3 discrete shifts. They're working 1 week on with 2 weeks off. We have a large number of people who telework during their 2 weeks off. We have some numbers of people in the plant that are 100% teleworking. And for those employees that are unable to telework due to the nature of their job, they run on weather and safety leave during their 2 week off time. We're making sure that all employees entering the plant in the morning don't exhibit any symptoms of infection. For example, we ask a number of health-related questions regarding possible exposure, how do they feel, things of that nature. We're also doing a kind of a screening operation with infrared no-touch thermometers just to get a baseline reading, just to make sure that there's no obvious people with fevers entering the plant. We're doing everything we can to protect the workforce and keep the COVID outside of our fence line rather than let it get in and then run rampant within our workforce. And that's another advantage to splitting the workforce into 3 discrete shifts, is we don't allow any crosstalk between the shifts. Or the shifts are physically separated by week, and people that are on a particular shift don't come physically into the plant except the week that they're supposed to be there.
The next question we had is, who is coordinating and announcing actions and response efforts for COVID-19? This is a joint effort actually between Marine Corps, Logistics Base Barstow, and the tenants aboard. We have a number of meetings where we discuss corrective actions and benefits and stuff needed to take care of the force. There are regular Barstow-wide emails that go out notifying all personnel who work aboard this installation, and each one of the commands puts out day-to-day emails talking about updates for COVID-19 and what's going on. The next question we had is, what is the base doing to keep its Marines, civilian employees, unaffected by this outbreak? And again, this question we've actually talked to quite a bit, both production plant and 1st FSB, on what we've done with the force, with the admin leave, the weather and safety, the teleworking, and for those who are physically on location, exercising the social distancing, cleanliness, and the continued sanitization of the areas. With the PPE that we have, ensuring that if you're not able to maintain your social distancing, that you have masks on. Many of you, and we'll talk this a little later too, have seen the notifications that have been put out by San Bernardino County, have been put out by the installation. For those in 1st FSB, you have seen it put out by me that if you cannot maintain the appropriate social distancing, that you will have a mask on. For question number 5, are all the Marines, sailors, and civilians and families being tested? The quick answer is testing is being done as required. Every person who believes they've been in direct contact or shows COVID-19 symptoms should get tested and also self-report through their chain of command.
The Marines and civilian employees of 1st FSB and Production Plant Barstow teleworking, yes, absolutely they are in both locations. We have certain positions that are 100% teleworking. We have the people that are on their 2-week off-cycle rotation that telework based upon the nature of their jobs. And we're also doing situational teleworking for people as appropriate.
One of the next questions we had was, how will this impact the local community? The priority of this command is to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and we do so by limiting the impact to the local community, and we are committing to preserving the health and welfare of the community as well as the battalion itself. We have weekly conferences with city and county officials to ensure that we are in sync and self-supporting. One team, one fight. The next question we had is, what is 1st FSB and Production Plant Barstow doing to contain an outbreak, keep Marines and families and civilian employees from infecting people around the base? Again, we've talked to this before. The intent is to continue clear and constant communication, regularly keeping people aware of current policies, best practices. We continue to reinforce proper hygiene, extra steps in sanitation, and social distancing. If we all do what we're supposed to do at work and at home, we will still help to stomp out this virus.
As we said earlier, the production plant has implemented the 1-3 shift, which allows for social distancing for those that are physically within the plant during their week of work. This also partitions the workforce with the intent that cross-contamination won't occur between shifts if an infected person does make their way into the plant. Additionally, any contact tracing that might be needed in order to determine who an infected person was close to at work is greatly simplified when we only got 1/3 of the workforce in the plant on any given week. We're teleworking whenever possible. We purchased and distributed cleaning supplies throughout the plant as part of our self-help program so that employees are able to clean their workstations and their common areas such as break rooms. We have coolers, a type of evaporative cooler called the Power Breeze that sprays a fine mist in a directional cone. We've adapted those to use a bleach and water solution, and every week in between shift changes, we're thoroughly disinfecting all of our head spaces throughout the plant by spraying that bleach and water solution at the recommended concentration for approximately 30 minutes and letting it settle. It off-gases over the weekend, there's no people in the space, and by the time they come in, they have a completely disinfected head space to use with no real concerns about any lingering viruses or infectious agents. We're also leveraging the base fire department. The fire department has an aeroclave system that's suitable for advanced disinfection of potentially contaminated work areas. And finally, should an actual confirmed case of an employee with COVID-19 be found in the plant, there's a base contract that we can avail ourselves of that brings in a specialized cleaning facility to come in. We cordon the area off for 24 hours. That gives the virus an opportunity to die, and it makes it safer for the people who do the final cleanup under the contract. They come in and they thoroughly disinfect the area and return it to a safe for use condition.
And that's a really good point, Chip, is that the base has a couple of different options that are great, and the tenants of the base can utilize to clean those areas. I know the fire department has their machines, there's the contracted service, and they're both super quick in responding to those requirements or to our requests.
Absolutely, Mike. I think your experience has been the same as mine, in that the collaboration support that as tenants that we've gotten from Colonel Clemens and the base staff has been nothing short of outstanding. It's clearly a partnership. We're all working together to keep our people safe, to keep each other safe. We're doing everything we can to assist both as 1st FSB and as Marine Depot Maintenance Command in anything that the base needs us, the installation commander needs our help with.
It goes back to the one team, one fight.
Absolutely. So one question we got, and I think this question came from a Production Plant Barstow employee, is, are we going on until the 30th of April? I think what the employee is referring to is, when do we return back to a normal shift schedule? And I think that a return back to a normal shift schedule, to our prior shift schedule before COVID impacted local area in the way it has, it looks like the earliest any possible change in shift would occur is the 30th of April. That's going to be based, though, upon local conditions in the area. What's the rate of infection? What's the hospital situation look like? When do we think we will have passed through the peak of the virus's impact in the local area? And our command back at LOGCOM is working with experts in industry and headquarters Marine Corps to get access to information that will let them make the best possible decision that balances worker safety, employee safety, community safety, along with the requirement to meet the Marine Corps' readiness requirements, which both Lt.Col Graham and I have a role in: storage, distribution, the life cycle maintenance, the repair at the depot level of equipment. So, but I would say the short answer is that we will be, until the final week in April, we will be on the 1-3 shift schedule at the production plant.
It was said very well, Chip. And again, everybody wants to get back to work. Everybody wants to get back to normal. But every level of leadership within LOGCOM, their top priority is the safety of the people.
Okay, the next question was also from production plant employees. What are their plans for the terms close to the end of their term during this time? We will be renewing terms at their not to exceed dates over this time. There's no plans to not renew terms at this point. What it looks like to us right now is the workload that we're not doing now is going to push out later into the year, and we're going to need people on board to help execute that workload.
Next question is, what is the protocol for wearing face covering at entry checkpoints at Marine Corps Logistic Base Barstow Gate? Should they be gate or should gate not be worn so our faces are visible? I can see where there's some of the confusion with the question but there has been change in policies. Okay, San Bernardino County put out a recent one updating it that you no longer have to wear the face mask while driving your car. Okay, it should be visible at the entry control points for coming on to the installation. However, that is a Marine Corps Logistic Base Barstow policy, and that may change depending on the outside situations. And I've already talked to it for the first FSB, is that the mask will be worn when you're walking around the areas, when you cannot practice social distancing. For example, when I'm sitting in my office by myself, I don't have a mask on, but the instant anybody walks into it, the mask comes on. Okay.
That same general guidance about masks applies as well to the production plant. Everybody working in the plant physically is required to have a mask available to them should they need to wear it. And the need to wear it is going to be driven by the whole 6-foot social distancing requirement. If you got folks closer than 6 feet to you, put the mask on. If you're by yourself in your office space, if you're walking outside on the hard stand and there's nobody around you, the mask is optional at that point. If you feel better wearing it, you should, but there's not a requirement at that point. Use your judgment, but keep yourself safe. We owe it to all of us. We should all treat ourselves as if we're infected and everybody around us is infected, and that is a good lens through which to drive your behavior, or to view your behavior. I think of everybody here on the base, regardless of whether you're an installation employee or a tenant employee, as you're all part of my extended family. We're all in this together, and we all need to protect our brothers and sisters every day through our actions.
Yeah, it's well said. Again, my people have heard me say this numerous times in writing and in person, is you take care of yourself, you take care of your family, you take care of the team. It's one team, one fight, and we can't do it unless everybody's doing their part.